Hey, you guys, Dr. Val here, your resident neuroscientist, and I'm talking to someone who's really been tapping into their imagination. Yes, your imagination. You know, that special magical ingredient that used to be in everything when you were a kid, and then most often is a little bit dampened or a lot dampened when you reach your adulthood. But listen, it goes kind of hand in hand with neuroplasticity, right? And the way the brain works is that at the start, when you're a kid, neuroplasticity is at its highest. The brain's quite malleable. It's not yet efficient. Yeah, you can't memorize a lot of stuff, but it's very malleable. So a lot gets formed or can or has the possibility and the opportunity of being created during those earlier stages of our life. And no wonder imagination is so rampant and the world really is your oyster. Of course, the world doesn't stop being that as you grow up. It's just that our neural pathways get set in, right? Our sense of who we are, our identity, which is just, our brain using the same neural pathways over and over again rather than trying it all and being open to everything. So yes, I guess what I'm saying is our experience of imagination perhaps dampens. It's not that imagination is non-existent. It's our experience, which goes hand in hand with the way that our brains develop into adulthood. But nonetheless, you right now, okay, have been imagining. You've literally been tapping into your imagination, and I feel like you're imagining a new future for yourself, all right? And it could be in the realm of your career, maybe your romantic relationships, maybe both. Maybe, you're envisioning and imagining like a little holiday or a big holiday. Or maybe it's like a major change. I don't know. Maybe you're imagining that you acquire these new epic skills and go on to transform the world. Listen, as always, wear the shoe if it fits and where it fits. But you're imagining all these things. And at the level of your brain, imagination really comes from within. So when we interact with the external environment, right, whether it's let's say via our senses, right, visually, you're looking at something, that info gets relayed through the nerves in your brain to the visual cortex, and then you kind of get a picture of whatever it is that you think you're looking at. However, even with vision, only 10% of the thing that you're looking at is actually from raw data in front of you. 90% of it is brain generated. I know, let that sink in. Whatever it is that you're looking at right now, let's say this video, is only 10% raw data. 90% is generated by your brain entirely from past experiences, people that look like me, blah, 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 like that. Now, so maybe that's not the best example, but nonetheless, let's say you touch something, okay? So that sensation of touch gets relayed to the thalamus, and then from the thalamus to the somatosensory cortex in your brain, right? Now, when you imagine things, it doesn't come from the info doesn't come from the external environment, just like it does with the senses. It actually is generated from within, all right? So there are a couple of brain areas that are known to be highly active during this process of imagination, such as the DMN or the default mode network. I know the DMN gets a bad rep for things like ruminating thoughts and self-referential thoughts, but there's not one thing that is bad within your brain, or even the amygdala. You know how people say the little red button, the amygdala gets really hijacked when, you lose it or you lose your shit or whatever. But the amygdala is also responsible for love. So it's not like you can label a structure good or bad. That's such a human thing to do and very limiting, right? So nothing's bad. The DMN is not bad. Yes, it's active when you're ruminating, but it's also active when you're imagining things. And so is the hippocampus, which, yes, is the memory storage processing center of your brain. But in this case, rather than the brain purely predicting, which, yes, it's very good at predicting, it is a predicting machine, but ultimately, right now, as you're imagining this new future for yourself, your DMN's active, your hippocampus is active, so is your prefrontal cortex, right? So is your prefrontal cortex, which is like the CEO of your brain, which governs your emotions, gives you a sense of who you are, and ultimately is responsible for a lot of the higher order tasks that you accomplish. But the prefrontal cortex is active as you're imagining things. So it's by no means a passive process and by no means a waste of time. Okay? Imagining whatever is actually a brain heavy task, if you will, right? So I think that's a good thing. I know I just said that labeling something good or bad isn't necessarily the way to go, but you know what? If it empowers you, why not? So hopefully this video empowered you, and if you haven't been imagining stuff, there's always an opportunity to start now. As always, if you enjoyed this, please follow me for more or get in touch with me via the description box below. And until we meet again,